Good evening and welcome to the November edition of Business Nation. If you're sick, how does your doctor decide which drug to give you? Most doctors base that decision on their patient's best interests, but there's a growing concern that too many physicians are influenced by something else. The free meals, gifts, and money that pharmaceutical companies heap upon doctors in an effort to sell more of their drugs. Mike Huckman investigates the controversial relationship between doctors and drug companies, one that's led to an outright rebellion.
Any fever with it? We'll go lay down and check your tummy, all right?
Dr. Tammy Schlichtemeyer is a Dallas area pediatrician. Her day is filled with ear infections, pink eye, and wellness checkups. She loves her work, but she has a problem.
There we go.
It's the small army of pharmaceutical salespeople who descend on her office every week.
Now, are your patients asking how quickly they'll see results with Benzaclin?
She's wary of the influence they try to wield and doubtful they have her patients' best interests at heart.
I just don't believe it's ethical to consider a drug rep to be the one that influences you on what you should give your patients.
Hi, how are you? Pretty good. What'd you bring us today?
Adam Carson is a drug rep for Polypharmaceuticals who stops in on Dr. Schlichtemeyer on a regular basis. Like other reps, Carson brings free samples, which the doctor welcomes. The problem is the time taken with the constant barrage of sales pitches.
The base Polytan is a 12-hour antihistamine. It's non-generic. It's roughly $8 an ounce. We just added dextromethorphan as an antitussive. Comes in a citrus cotton candy flavor.
There are now some 100,000 drug reps in the U.S., one for every 6 doctors. Dr. Schlichtemeyer feels besieged.
I have 3 drug reps for one of our asthma medications.
3 sales reps for the same drug?
Exactly. I don't need to hear 3 times a week about that drug.
I have COPD with chronic bronchitis.
If it seems like you can't escape those drug ads, imagine how your doctor feels. Pharmaceutical companies spend $24 billion a year on marketing, and 90% of it is aimed at physicians.
Ask your doctor about Nasonex.
The Polytan is a watermelon flavor.
The relationship between doctors and drug companies may be starting to fray a bit.
I do get a hard sell from some reps, and it's often the more expensive drug, the drug that insurance companies aren't covering.
Are the drug companies more concerned with helping your patients or with making a profit?
I hate to say it, but probably making a profit.
Adam Carson believes he's providing a valuable service to patients.
We do a service for society because if we're bringing an effective drug that they're able to use, and I feel that we've bettered our community by healing someone that was sick.
But these former drug reps say the reality is more complicated and that they didn't always put patients first. Jamie Reedy spent 4 years at Eli Lilly and nearly 5 years at Pfizer. He's since written a tell-all book and has sold a movie script to our parent company, NBC Universal.
I was a pharmaceutical salesperson. By definition, my job is to move product.
Like Reedy, Kathleen Slattery-Moschkau and Shahram Ahari are going public, providing a rare insider's view of marketing tactics unknown to most patients.
Were you educating doctors?
I was telling doctors exactly what my company wanted me to tell them.
Which was?
Which was the partial information about the good components of the drug.
Our job as drug reps is to present a skewed presentation of the data where they believe that our drug is fantastic.
Hold on a sec. You just said it's your job to present a skewed representation of the data.
Right.
Not an objective view.
No, there is very little objective science about what we do.
And whoever said there's no such thing as a free lunch hasn't worked in a doctor's office.
There are some offices that advertise in the front desk job description free lunch every day. Not because the doctors are paying for it, because the drug reps are bringing it in every day.
We're a competing conflict of interest for the doctors. Their priority should be their patients, but we're going in there and we're telling them to use our products when it's not necessarily the most effective drug for their patient.
A friend of mine, orthopedic surgeon, told me, just laid it out for me. This is when I was selling Celebrex, and Vioxx was our big competitor. My buddy told me, he goes, listen, when the Celebrex guy takes me to a Red Sox game, guess what drug I'm writing for the rest of that week? I'm writing Celebrex. But when the Vioxx guy takes me to the Celtics game the next week, guess what drug I'm writing?
You make it sound like, pardon the expression, this doctor's a whore.
Oh, that's what we call them, drug whores.
The suggestion that some doctors can be bought is a bold charge. But independent studies back up what these former drug reps say they were able to document firsthand: a direct connection between free meals and drug sales.
We have information in our database in our computers telling us exactly how much a doctor prescribes, what they're prescribing, and when they prescribe it.
So you would know exactly if, the lunch that you took Dr. Smith to, or the game that you took Dr. Johnson to, if that paid off, because you'd have the numbers right there in front of you.
To say that this marketing, that the presence of drug reps is hurting patients, that's absolutely untrue. There is no shred of evidence for that.
Dr. Tom Stossel, a blood specialist at Harvard Medical School, believes he represents the silent majority of his colleagues who say that drug reps provide valuable information and a service to busy doctors.
I would argue it's making the care better. Physicians can't prescribe appropriately or inappropriately if they've never heard of the product. So only through marketing do they learn about products.
Dr. Stossel says gifts to physicians have little effect on patient care. He makes no bones about his own financial ties to drug companies and believes such arrangements are often in the interests of both doctors and patients.
I would rather your doctor is getting input from companies, hopefully different companies, than being completely cut off from companies.
In 2002, the pharmaceutical industry instituted a self-policing code of ethics aimed at stopping the most controversial practices. Even so, not all gifts are banned. A recent survey in the New England Journal of Medicine revealed that 83% of doctors still receive gifts or money from industry sources.
Yes, ma'am.
That's led to a backlash. Some of the nation's top teaching hospitals, like Stanford University Medical Center, have banned